Hi folks, Greeno here. Where am I today? Well, I am right in the heart of the financial district here in New York City. On Manhattan, just behind me there, is Wall Street. Why am I here? I spent a little bit of time in New York now, and what I've discovered is that food here is incredibly expensive. Incredibly expensive compared to home. I'm on the lookout for some cheap eats around the city, and I think I found a place which is pretty much as cheap as anywhere. It's called Los Tacos. Now, this place specialises in sort of Mexican food. So it's set up by some friends who are kind of right down close to the California-Mexican border. Some in California, some in Mexico, in Tijuana. And they've set up like this place that sells low-cost tacos, quesadillas, that kind of stuff. And they've got a few branches around the city already. So I'm excited to try it. I like those kind of flavours. And apparently, they sell cactus to eat, which I don't think I've ever had before. So, let's get inside and find out what it's all about, shall we? Right, my order is in, folks. I've gone with a Carne Asada taco, that's a beef meat, and I think it's kind of like on the kebab kind of thing. I've gone with a Tostada with the Cactus, and that should be kind of like a flat taco, I think, and a quesadilla with chicken in it, pollo asado quesadilla. All of these I've gone for on corn. You can get corn or flour as an option, and I've gone with a Mexican Coke. Now I hear Mexican Coke is the good stuff. It's made with cane sugar rather than the sort of fructose or whatever it's made with elsewhere around the world. I've been advised to get everything on all of these different things, all the toppings, so that's what I'm doing. Let's take a little look. Okay, this is going to be a bit of a first, folks. I've got to stand up and do this review. There's no seating in here at all, just little counters that you can lean on and put your food on, and that's it. That's all we've got. So, what have we got here? In this little packet here, we have the beef taco, a chicken quesadilla. You can't really see it particularly well, I'm sure. And back here, this is with the cactus in it, which is a new one on me. And somehow or other, don't ask me how, I seem to have ended up with something else, which has got some chicken in. Not quite sure. And we got the Mexican Coke here as well. I'm looking forward to trying this. In fact, I think I'm going to do that first. This apparently is the best Coke out there. It's pretty good. Sweet. Not quite as fizzy as some other Cokes, so that's kind of interesting. Right. I've also got some lime here that I've picked up. There are all sorts of other condiments available. There's pico de gallo and all that kind of stuff. But I'm just going to go with a load of fresh lime over everything. Apologies for the noise in here. It is incredibly busy. Kids running around everywhere. It's not refined dining, let's put it that way, shall we? I've parked myself next to a place with plenty of napkins because I've got a feeling I'm going to need them with this. So, first up, we're going to go with a beef taco. Okay, I have it here in my hand. Basically, I asked them to put everything on everything. That was what I was advised to by the lady who took my order. So in here we have the beef meat. There is guacamole, there's onion, there's coriander, and all sorts of other bits and pieces on a nice corn taco. I was advised definitely corn is the way to go, not the flour stuff. Oh, I can see why. Straight away, you get that corn flavour, which is delicious. The filling inside, this carne asada, is tiny little bits of beef. It's like almost on a big kebab skewer, and they're carving it off like you would do with a doner kebab back at home. But it's a very different flavoured meat, obviously. But all the extra bits in there. really bring everything alive. There's a whack of chili. There's that creamy smoothness you get with the guacamole. A little sharpness from the onion. A little zestiness from the lime. Oh, that is cracking. Let me see if I can bring it in a bit closer now so you can actually see inside. There you go. That is a little flavour bomb, let me tell you. And I'll talk to you about the prices as we go along. I have the receipt here in my pocket. That's $5.65 for that little taco. That's about £4, I would say. I don't think that's crazy money for something like that, particularly in this part of town. Bear in mind, I'm in the same block here as the New York Stock Exchange. Now, anywhere in London, if you're around the Bank of England or in the city, everything's crazy money, isn't it? Well, I would say here, a lot of things are very, very expensive all around the city. But that strikes me as a really good value item to eat. They all look good value. Anyway, let's move on to the chicken one, shall we? Right, time for this chicken quesadilla. So this is going to be a very similar affair to the beef taco we've just had, except it's with chicken and has the addition of cheese on there. So again, the chicken is cut into these small little pieces, very similar to how the beef is. It's a chopped meat. This feels a little sort of heavier, a little weightier, a little greasier, I guess, because of that cheese. But look at this. It looks cracking. So immediately, it tastes lighter because you've got chicken instead of beef there. All of the other flavours still work with it very well. I'm not picking up much cheese, apart from kind of like a texture of melted cheese in there. But that's partly, I think, because there's a lot of very, very punchy flavours in there. In this one, I'm picking up that raw onion a bit more. Normally, I'm not a fan of that. But in this, it just seems to work. Yeah. It's dripping everywhere. The meat, even though it's chopped into these tiny little pieces, it's still quite moist. Not dried out at all. And coriander here, certainly adding to the dish. And this looks soft. Again, it's a soft corn tortilla, and that's adding a flavour of its own. Oh yeah. Now this, $6.25. What's that, about £4.50, I would say? I mean, try getting this in any Mexican place kind of back home. You won't. You won't, not for that kind of money. That's really tasty. Okay, I'm going to have myself another little slurp and a Mexican Coke. And then we're going to move on to this Cactus one. Really interested to try that. Here we go. So this is a slightly different. So it's in a hard shell, but it comes with like a top and a bottom, which I'm a bit confused about. I don't know if you're supposed to put it together and try and eat it like a sandwich or just eat it like this. In here, again, we've got all the same toppings, but instead of the beef, instead of the chicken, I have got Cactus. It's quite interesting. It's obviously been char grilled. You can see a little bit on the skin of it. I can pick up a lot of lime. Obviously, I've squeezed some lime on there, but I think there was lime already on there. And I'd say texturally, it's kind of similar to like a runner bean or something. It's interesting. So this time, of course, it has the crispy taco to make the tostada, which I guess means toasted or something similar to that. The Cactus seems to like release this slimy liquid, which is a little bit unusual. It doesn't look that appealing when it does it. It kind of looks like a toddler with a snotty nose. I mean, if I'm honest, it's my least favourite of the ones I've had so far. But having never had Cactus to eat before, it's definitely worth trying. I mean, probably I would order the meat ones, but if someone gave me one of these to eat, I wouldn't be averse to it. It's pretty good. Now, how much was this one? just $4.75. So the Cactus is cheaper than the meat options. And I guess at least it's something very, very different if you're a vegetarian. No mushrooms here. No soy protein. You want a veggie dish? You're getting Cactus. Like I said, I ended up somehow with an extra item here. Who knows how? They just like handed it over and went, there you go. So I'll take it. This is a chicken taco. Again on a corn. And that actually works quite nicely too. This one seems to have a little bit more guacamole on it. I mean, these are messy things to eat. Definitely messy things to eat. I'm making a right mess here. They're kind of sloppy, dripping out everywhere. That's good, the chicken. I like that chicken one. But for me, out of all the things I've had so far, that's it. I'm not ordering more things, crikey. The beef one with the Carne Asada, I think that's the one I like the best. The flavour of the beef works really well. The texture of the meat is great. Yeah, that's my favourite. That's my favourite. But I've got to say, value for money wise, I think this is pretty good. Particularly for New York City. I've paid some crazy money for some food on this trip. Just to come into a place like this, just casual dining, like I say, not even tables in here. And it's really busy. It's really busy. I mean, we're now 11:45, okay? Just going into lunchtime. And there are people absolutely everywhere in here. Absolutely everywhere. So popular, and I can see why. It's inexpensive and it's flavourful. Plus, they got the Mexican Coke. I've got to say, the price of this really does surprise me. It's so cheap. I mean, this could be the cheapest food available in New York. Obviously, I've been walking around the city, and you see these food trucks everywhere. They're really popular. But in those, tacos, quesadillas, all that sort of stuff, I've seen pricing of like $12, $14. This is half that. And like I say, location-wise, this is where some of the big money in New York is. I mean, literally 50 yards from where I am now, the wolves of Wall Street are making their money. But either making new money or losing you money. Either way, they always seem to make money, don't they? Well, this place doesn't seem to be full of those kind of guys. There's a fair amount of tourists in here, I would say. Obviously, this is a part of town that tourists do like to walk around. But there's locals. And there's, people of Hispanic heritage here. I can hear Spanish being spoken. And I can see why they're coming here. It's tasty. It's really inexpensive. It just has a kind of nice, busy vibe to it. Yeah. It's a winner for me. Really like it. Anyway, I've got the bill here. Obviously, I already paid it. You pay when you come in. But we'll go outside and we'll run through it in a little bit more detail. And I'll give you my final thoughts and my final score. Well then, folks, I told you I was just around the corner from New York Stock Exchange. It's right here, this building here with the advertising all over it. Los Tacos. Really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. The cheapest meal I've had in New York by some margin. Probably the cheapest meal you're going to get anywhere in New York, if I'm honest. And the flavours were really good. Really good. So let's run through it item by item. The Carne Asada taco on the corn tortilla there. Really flavoursome. My favourite item out of the ones I got. Again, the flavours of the meat were good and of all the different toppings. I liked the way that the beef there worked with particularly the guacamole. Nice sort of creamy thing. And then you got the texture of the beef in amongst it as well. That really worked together very nicely. moving on to the nopal tostada. That is the Cactus one. That was my least favourite. I just didn't really get on with the texture of the cactus itself. It was a bit like a runner bean, but kind of slimier, and there was all this like weird snotty juice coming out of it, which I found a little bit off-putting. But if you like that kind of thing, I'm sure it's very, very tasty. The chicken quesadilla. Yeah, I'm not sure what the point of the cheese in there really was. It didn't seem to add anything. It would have been just as good to have it as a taco. But the flavour of the chicken worked really nicely again with all of the different toppings. Very interesting. The Mexican Coke. You know what? Like I said at the start, it just kind of tastes like Coke. A little bit less carbonated perhaps than some others, but really, really good. Really good. So, I also ended up with some extra chicken taco. I'm not going to take that into account. I don't know how I ended up with it, but it was tasty enough. Service in there was polite enough. I mean, it's a fast food place. You don't expect great things. But the girl who actually served me to take my order was really, really friendly, really nice. The guys behind the counter who were actually preparing the food, who were then handing it over to me, were a little bit stressed because it was getting busy, even though it was so early in the day. So, price-wise, the beef taco $5.65, the Cactus tostada $4.75, the chicken quesadilla $6.25, and the Mexican Coke $4.50. That gives you a subtotal of $21.15, which is probably about £16 or something like that, I would guess. Taxes get on there. There's always a sales tax on the bill here, and a tip. That takes the whole thing up to $26.83. So what's that? About 20 quid, I guess, for those three really interesting, different Mexican street food items and the Mexican Coke. Like I said, I don't think it's unreasonable. Certainly not from New York City. Everything here is pricey. So, score. What am I going to give it as a score? There were one or two things which weren't to my taste, certainly, particularly that cactus. I would have liked a seat. I know it's not that kind of place or whatever, it is like a street food thing, but just some seats or some stools or something would be better, I think. But the price is not unfair. The service was decent for fast food. I'm going to give it a good 4.3, 4.4 out of 5, something like that. I think that's fair. It was really, really enjoyable food. Yeah, just would have liked somewhere to sit down and not to have eaten slimy cactus, really. It just struck me why I didn't see many city types in there. You'll remember Gordon Gekko? Lunch is for wimps, isn't it? That's why. That's why. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video looking at Los Tacos here just off of Wall Street in Manhattan, don't forget, click a thumbs up on there for me. It does help with the channel. And if you're new around here and you enjoyed this video, why not check out some more of my New York/US playlist and dig around the vault, see what else you enjoy. And if there's a few, click that subscribe button, ding your bell for notifications. YouTube will let you know when I upload new videos. Right, where to next? Who knows? There's still so much of this city to explore and enjoy. I'll catch you next time, folks.